Come on in.
Andy?
Hey, Kyle. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. It was great getting to meet you over at the game last weekend.
Oh, yeah. The pleasure was all mine.
Yeah, did you and your family have a good time?
Yeah, we had a great time, a good atmosphere, great football game. Did you have a good time as well, I assume?
Yeah, I had a fantastic time. What did you think of the entire game as a whole?
Man, I couldn't complain. You really can't ask for much more than that. Perfect game from a true freshman quarterback and no mistakes, and that goal line stand at the end. I mean, I was thrilled. I
was very intrigued by the very first play of the game, the flea flicker.
Oh yeah, how could you forget?
I was on my feet. I was cheering. I was yelling, and then John was there, and he was doing the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
great.
I'm glad John got the chance to introduce us.
Yeah, me too. I enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah. I love the conversation at the game, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about some of the stuff we discussed on Saturday. I know we had a couple brews in us, but trying to clear the air about what's actually going on.
Absolutely, I'd love nothing more.
Yeah, so we talked on Saturday. We said roughly 20 minutes for today.
Yeah, 20 minutes that's how our schedule's allotted for today. So 20 minutes sounds good to me.
Yeah, I know you're a very busy man. I want to get you in and out of here.
I appreciate that.
Maybe even give you some time back at the end.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
We'd love to make sure that happens.
Sounds good.
Do you mind if I jot down some notes during this?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to real fast give you my business card before we start.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
If you have any questions throughout the presentation or want to bring up any concerns, just yell out, stop me, ask away.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're both on the same page throughout the entire process.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so like we said, the purpose of today's meeting is just to discuss a little bit more about the problems you're having and see how Salesforce can help treat those. And I sent you over an agenda last night.
Okay.
Did you happen to take a chance to look at it?
I think I looked at it briefly. Let's go ahead and go over it again and make sure we're on the same page.
Okay. I'll show you my notes exactly of what I sent you, so both those are the same. So I'm going to ask you to talk to you a little more about your previous Salesforce experience, if any. Talk to you a little more about your company as a whole, a little bit more about how your job plays a part in the company. Then after that, I'll show you a demo, get your hands on the product, let you play around with it. And then after that, we'll just talk about some next steps.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to add or change to that?
No, I think it's concise, it's cohesive, it's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get to it.
Yeah, of course. So I was doing some homework before I came in here, just looking more about Yeti, while not trying to look at any more tundras. But while I was looking at that, I came across an income statement from last year, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but it said that in 2013 you had annual revenue of about 90 mil, which in 2014 it increased to 148 mil roughly, and then it roughly increased to $469 million.
That's right.
So it increased 65% from 13 to 14, and from 14 to 15 it increased almost 300%.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's some numbers are definitely substantial. As a company, you really can't ask for much more than that, and we're proud of them. We really are.
Yeah, it sounds like growth is a very big point at hand at Yeti. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, one of our core values is always strive for improvement, and that's just what we try to do. It reflects everything we do from all the way from our most basic cups all the way to something as advanced as the growth of the company as a whole. Is something that everything has in common, I think.
Okay, so would you say that growing as a whole is Yeti's number one priority?
It's definitely one of them. As of right now, the state of being, growth is definitely a huge priority. I think something that we're good at, and we can continue on that momentum. But we're also always seeking to improve, and we want to do that in our organization with back office and the orders and just the organization of the company as a whole, as well as getting our processes more efficient. I think those are just things that any company can always improve on, and we're the same. I think we have that in common with most companies, where those are just some key things that you can always get better at, and there's no reason not to. Okay,
so you're saying that organization's number one, but that directly ties into the growth.
I think that's probably fair, yes.
Okay. And with that, let's backtrack for 1 second. Have you ever had any Salesforce experience at all in general?
No, the CRM system we have in place is very old. It's probably outdated at this point. but I actually haven't even looked at Salesforce before, so I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Okay, so you're looking to see how Salesforce could help potentially with the organization and growing of the company.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the organization. What kind of problems are you having internally with Yeti?
Well, so it all kind of boils down to an infrastructure we have in place that wasn't really designed to handle such an immense volume of sales that we've been fortunate enough to see in the past couple of years. Our order entry is sluggish, it's manual, and we're getting so many orders, it's just, I'm afraid that things are getting lost between the cracks. With such a outdated system and infrastructure and how big our company's getting, I'm afraid that the collaboration between the departments just isn't quite there, quite as transparent as I would want it to be. From the system that we've got in place, I don't think the customer-client information is as visible as it should be, how much as it could be. And from that lack of visibility, I just think insight isn't up to par and is even as accurate as it could be. I'm not entirely sure. And the system, again, it's outdated, and I think the tracking system could use some revamping so we can make sure that we're seeing these orders getting from the entry state all the way to the end, and the shipping, and making sure they're reaching the customers on time when it's supposed to be, and all the orders are correct. And it's just with such sheer volume, so little things like that can fall through the cracks, and we're trying to minimize that.
Okay, that sounds like there's a lot going on. Just to make sure we're on the same page, I'm going to just repeat some of those things.
Sure.
You say you're sluggish, you're doing a lot of things manually, you're getting lost, and things are even falling through the cracks, you said. There's no collaboration, and most importantly, from what I heard, there's no customer information at all?
It's just, I'm sure it's there, but it's just not accessible.
Okay, so how are you tracking your orders then if you don't have any information?
It's all manual.
It's all manual?
Yeah.
Dang. How much time does that take?
Oh, there's no telling. I imagine it at least doubles the amount of time per order.
Oh, dang. Is that directly affecting cost in any way?
Yes. Our SG&A costs are through the roof right now.
Yeah, I saw, when I was looking earlier at doing my homework, I saw you guys are increasing in revenue each year, no doubt. But I saw that for the first quarter of last year, you had negative $40 million in net income. Is that directly affected, you think, by operations?
I think it's got a huge role to play in it.
Okay.
I think it'd be ignorant to say it doesn't.
So you're definitely looking to see how operations just can be improved as a whole.
Absolutely.
Okay. So would you say that is there any other? Would you say that that's the only thing that you're concerned about right now is just your organization to try and bring you guys back on track?
Well, I think with that organization, we're losing orders that we could be filling.
Okay.
And that's just something that any company would hate to see. You're just leaving money on the table. So I think those are probably the two major players here. Last time I looked at our books, 10% of orders that are placed aren't going through. So that's costing us, at least $40 million there.
How much did you say you're losing in orders?
At least $40 million if it's 10% of our total revenue.
That's a lot. So you're growing so fast at a pace that's not sustainable from an operation standpoint.
Exactly. The system that we have in place just isn't cut out to handle, again, this just incredible amount and breadth of order that we're used to right now. So we'll be able to adapt.
So with the CRM that can handle all of these things from customer input to tracking systems to sales in general, you think that is something that's definitely going to help fix this problem?
I think it could definitely help.
Understandable. So with a $40 million net loss last quarter, it sounds like things are going downhill. So is there a timetable to try and bring the number back up?
Well, another one of our core values here at Yeti is that we approach every situation, every action with a sense of urgency.
Okay.
We try to reflect that in everything we do. So I think any time wasted would be a bad decision on our end.
So this is a now or never kind of thing.
It's on my plate right now, and I'm ready to tackle it.
Okay. So if you don't mind, I'd like to show you a little bit more about what Salesforce can help you with.
Absolutely.
Let you feel on the product. You mind if I come sit right here?
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah. This is definitely an issue of time, and you think that the further time goes on, that the more you're going to lose. It's definitely
it's
something
certainly looking that way.
Yeah.
So I think it's something we should look at now.
Especially so if you're losing 40 mil. So with Salesforce, you would obviously be trying to cut that loss. So Salesforce would definitely be helping you throughout the process of that. But at the same time, it sounds like the eddy is growing substantially.
It is.
And when people log into Salesforce and they use Salesforce, automatically they increase their leads by almost 200%. So once you're able to sustain yourself, you would be able to create more leads and create more business. Okay, so I'll show you exactly what to use, just so that you can feel more about the product. Okay. So you want to see operations. You want to see directly how operations would help.
Right.
All right, so if you click right over there, all right, you would want to look for content.
Content right here? Okay.
Yes. Content shows you.
Birds.
And the birds, yes. Content shows you a little bit more about how, what directly your operations group is doing. Okay. So this is your main page when you log on. It shows you your quality performance. It shows you everything that your operation needs to know. Your sales will all generate right here. So when one of your salesmen sells a product, the order will come in right here. It'll show priority, it'll show name.
Is that coming in automatically?
It'll come in automatically.
That's
There's no more manual in that.
That's great.
Great. I'm not even sure if I want to know how you guys have been manually directing all that.
It's been a challenge.
Yeah, I do not blame you. But it would come up automatically, so there would be no miscommunication on that. It showed when the order was placed, when they want it by, and more importantly, what they want, how they want it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you scroll down even more, it just shows you more basic facts. It shows you what you have to do for this specific day, how you're going to stay on track. You can put in inputs to see, like, if I want to grow 10%, like how much more would I have to be getting out each day? How much more do my salesmen have to sell to be able to do that?
Okay.
It shows you a lot of stuff like that. I know this looks like a lot of information. If you go back up to contents, there's so many of those tabs. But with Salesforce, we would have our crew come in and we would have them show you exactly how to use it. We'd show your team too. We would make sure your team felt very comfortable with it. Okay. You'd have your own Salesforce rep in case anything were to happen and you were unsure of how to actually use a certain asset that you wanted to know, or even if you wanted to know if there's something that Salesforce could do that you don't know how to have.
That'd be very
beneficial. You'd have a rep for that. Also, I know that you're a busy man and you don't necessarily want to stay in your office all day. Salesforce does have an app.
Oh, really?
They do have an app. I'll show you real fast on my phone. So when the app loads, it looks a little different, but it's not too different. You put all the tabs that you want, your main tabs at the bottom.
Okay.
If you want more tabs, you come back up, and they're all on the side.
Oh, I see all these. Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, our Salesforce crew would definitely show your team and you exactly how to use it, but it's very accessible to the point where this is not what you should have to rely on.
Right.
Your job is to make sure that your products are selling, not that Salesforce is doing its job.
Right.
I think that's mostly. I had a client last year who was always on the run. She traveled to China. She was all over Eastern Asia last year, and her crew was back here in America. So it was very helpful to her that she knew exactly what was going on, what sales were coming in, making sure her team was on track, and that's something I'm sure that it's very helpful for you too.
Actually, very liberating. I think it'd be very beneficial.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to see from Salesforce while we're doing the demo right now?
Let's just look at the sales tab right here.
Yeah, this is actually what your sales team would use. They would enter your accounts. They'd enter the phone calls logged that they discussed, the products they bought, when they want it, and then all that information will be translated down to your operations so that they would be able to see it too.
Yes.
That way there's no misleading communication. And then they also have their leads over here.
Right, and accounts as well.
So when they're not dealing with clients, they can always be projecting new leads, which is why Salesforce has such a high rate of new leads generated.
Awesome. This is some serious software here.
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot to take in, but Salesforce will be making sure that your company is trained on the software and they know what's going on.
Wonderful.
Yes. So I'm gonna grab my chair back over here.
Okay.
But based upon what we've seen today, Andy, closer. But basically what we talked about here today, I just want to recap it real fast for you.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So basically what we talked about is that you're growing so fast. That's awesome. Fantastic. That's a really good thing to know that you're doing. But as well, you can't handle it. Your operations can't handle it. You're becoming inefficient. Yeah, I'm not sure how your clients are feeling about it, but I'm sure that if they keep not getting their orders, they're going to be upset about it too. Doing everything manually, it's just a bad situation. It's costing you more stress and more money than you'd like.
Right.
So with all that said, what's stopping us today from doing business?
From my end, I think I've heard everything that I need to hear. I think the software is great. I like what I'm seeing. I just know that I'm going to have to pass along any sort of next step information to our present CEO, who's not able to be with us today. Do you have any form of write-up or anything?
Yeah, like I've actually written everything on here. Would he be someone that you would like to maybe have in the future come to one of these meetings?
Yeah, I'll make sure that when we have our next meeting that he's able to come in and look over the contract as well. But go ahead and do a copy of that.
I'd like you to get that to him. Read over it yourself. That explains everything that we went over today. It also names precedent, which I had not talked about yet. I'm sure that you and your boss would both very much like to hear about that.
Right.
So it's a $25,000 initial setup fee that involves the software itself and my team coming in to help demonstrate how to use it and just help for the future. Like if you have any questions, that's what that fee is for.
Okay.
It's also $185 a person a month.
Okay.
So how many employees did you think we needed? I was thinking roughly like 100.
Yeah, I think it's about right. We got 350 in the whole company, but I doubt having it for everybody. That would be.
We can start you at 100. If you want to go up, you can go up. If you want to go down, you can go down. That's probably a good number to look at just to make sure. And that's something I'm sure we can finalize too.
Okay.
Do you have any more questions for me?
No, I think that we've gone over a lot, and I'm feeling good.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is just show that to your boss. Let him go over it. I will send you an email when both of you guys are good for next week. Do you happen to know maybe when he's available next week, or should I write you guys both an email?
Well, let's tentatively do next Tuesday at 10, and if that changes, I can let you know.
All right, so we'll set it for 10 o'clock next Tuesday. And if that does not work, you guys will reach out to me and we'll reset it from there.
And I've got your card, so
yes, you did.
I can be able to reach out as soon as I hear from you.
All right. Well, if you have no more questions and our meeting is set, I think that concludes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, of course. I hope you have a great time this weekend in Tennessee.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully I can catch up with you there.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Hopefully Georgia gets another good W.
Awesome. Hope you have a good day.
You too.